Hey guys, it's Paige. Welcome back for another video, and today I'm going to be discussing my February wrap-up. Is that what these things are called? It sounds so vague. Let's call this my done books, because that's way more descriptive. I don't know. I'm very tired. I've been going at it since like 5:30 a.m. I'm tired. Forgive me if this video is a little discombobulated. So let's get started. I'm very excited. I actually almost completely managed to get my full TBR done, plus like 1 or 2 books. Yes. So I have finished 18 books, and I actually have 2 others. One that I'm working on that I'm not going to finish for February, but one that I definitely am going to finish before February is up, and I will save them for later. But for now, I'm just going to go down the list of what I read, like from start to finish. And some of these books I don't have either because I got them from NetGalley through ebook, or because they were part of a Kidlit exchange book, so I had to read and pass them on. So the first book I read was House of Ash by Hope Cook, and I gave it a 3 out of 5 star rating. It was supposed to be, I guess, like a Halloween book, but it wasn't that scary, and the way that they handled mental illness in that book did not, it wasn't good. It wasn't good, y'all. The next book I read was, and I actually have a copy of it today, The Bells by Danielle Clayton. 5 out of 5 stars. Amazing book. I loved it. The diversity is amazing. The characters, the plot, the world building. Guys, look at this map. This world is amazing. Oh, cool. I heard that people got different colored spines. I have the gold one. I've been seeing a lot of pink. I'm going to share that on Instagram. But yeah, world building is amazing. Danielle can write. She is a fantastic author. And you need to watch out for her. Also, this is the start of a series, and I am so excited for number 2 to come out eventually. The next one I read was 13 Minutes. I can't remember the author's name, and I neglected to write it down in my book. Anyways, I gave it a 3 out of 5 star rating. It was kind of supposed to be like a thriller mystery book, I guess, but they told whodunit at the beginning of the book. And so, like, when I read the beginning of the book, I was like, why am I even bother reading it? I basically know who did it and the motive. What's the point? The next one I read was A Time to Die by Nadine Brandeis. I gave this a 3.5 out of 5 star rating. It was really good. It's a dystopian YA novel, and it's also Christian-based literature, which is pretty fascinating because you don't have a lot of Christian-based books, I don't know, in dystopians, or I haven't come across a lot of them, either one. It was pretty good. I enjoyed the story. I just kind of think that some parts could have been a little bit better, and it did feel like it was going way too fast for me. The next one I finished was, and this was actually for a book club that I got to participate in with for Blue's Bookish Bag, posted by Blueberry Bazaar, aka Molly. So if you want to do a book club, but also want to get a subscription bag, definitely check out Blue's Bookish Bag. They just posted the theme of April, and I think it goes on sale March 1st. So be on your toes March 1st, because that bag is going to go fast. But our first book that we got to read for the book club that she's hosting is Batman Nightwalker by Marie Lu. I gave this a 3 out of 5 star rating. It has Batman in it. Batman, memorable characters, but the story doesn't match up with the lore of Batman. Some parts felt forced, and Bruce Wayne did not have any character development in this. He was just a typical teenage guy when he should have been something extraordinary. It also really glossed over his parents' death. Now, that's not a spoiler, because since like the 1950s, we've known Batman has come about because of his parents' death. It was a pretty big determining factor in him becoming Batman. And to kind of gloss over it in this book, and you know, it's mentioned here or there, but it's not a driving factor for Bruce. That's very disheartening to Batman fans alike. The next one I read, and actually I DNF'd this one, it was my first DNF of the month, was Murder on the Orient Express by, I can't even remember her name. I keep wanting to call her Christy Agatha. I don't know why, but Agatha Christie. Agatha Christie wrote this, and it really shows his age. The language is really hard to get into, so that's why I had to DNF it. I want to come back to it one day, and hopefully I will, but for now I'm okay with just seeing the movie. The next one I read was Dream Shores by Mike Robinson, and I have a terrible memory. That's why I've been like using this to keep up, and as you can see here, I did not write my rating down. I think I gave it a 3 out of 5, but I'll try to correct it in the caption down below if I gave it something else. But this was an okay read. It was pretty fun. And the cover is matte, and I love the touch of the cover. But it's basically about this 10-year-old, well, she's an adult now, but it starts when she's 10. She's always dreamed of chasing monsters and stuff, and when she's 20, she's working aboard a yacht. Something mysterious and monstrous is happening while she's aboard the yacht while they're at sea. So yeah, it was pretty fun book. I read this, I think I read this in like maybe a day or two. It wasn't that bad of a book. So if you're looking for a quick read, I would definitely recommend that. So the next book I read that I had, that I received from NetGalley, was Ash Princess by Laura Sebastian. Amazing. I rated it 5 out of 5. I absolutely loved it. It's a lot of political intrigue and I wouldn't say mystery, but kind of like spy-ish. Look at Game of Thrones and take out the dragons and zombies. What are their names? White Walkers. Take out the zombies and the White Walkers, and you have Ash Princess. A lot of political going around, stabbing each other in the back kind of book. I like it. It was definitely my type of book. Might not be yours if you're not into it, but it comes out in April, so at least give it a try before you just say no. The next book I read was A Time to Speak, also by Knitting Brandies. I actually tried to conquer her series this month. So this is the next one. It picks up where we left off with Parvin. And her people are still being persecuted. They actually end up in Antarctica, and with just the clothes on their back. So it was pretty good. The ending was left on a cliffhanger, and I rated it a 3.5 out of 5 star rating. So, you know, pretty good. The next book I read was You Bring the Distant Near, and again, I gotta do better about this next month. I did not include the author's name, so I'm sorry, but I know that it just came out because I just made a Barnes & Noble trip and I saw it in store. I rated it a 4 out of 5 stars. It was pretty good. It was taglined as 5 American girls, 3 generations, something like that, but it was actually kind of like four girls and then one woman. But the story is a really cute yeah, I guess you would call it contemporary fiction about this family through the ages, all of roots, but without all the killing and the rape and the horribleness. It was all just really cute. The next book I finished is Aragon by Christopher Paolini. I hurt my wrist doing that. I really love this book. 4.5 out of 5 stars. This is the ultimate dragon book. It tops How to Train Your Dragon. It tops Game of Thrones. This is your dragon book. Especially if you like Harry Potter, you will love this. It's about a boy. He finds a mysterious rock in the woods, takes it home, and then it hatches and it's a dragon. And then he's being chased by monsters throughout this make-believe, I guess, continent of Aglacia, I think that's called. Really good. The first like a couple of hundred pages until Aragorn basically gets out of Carhaval are very slow, but once he gets out and they're off, the story really does pick up. So yeah, decent read. If you like dragons, get it. If you don't like dragons, get it. If you are curious about dragons, get it. It will change your opinion. It will make your day. Dragons. That's all I can say. The next one I read was The Lion Game by Ruth Ware. I gave it a 2.5 out of 5-star rating. It had really good pacing, and the plot was like really intriguing, and that's what really kept me going through this book. But the book itself, well, I guess more of the narrator is very confusing. She's not very trustworthy, which I kind of depend on in a mystery book for the narrator to be trustworthy. Other books, you know, I really don't care. Don't be trustworthy, that's fine, but in mysteries, I want to know what happened. So give me someone trustworthy. The next book I got my hands on was the last book in Nadine Brandy's Out of Time series. It's called A Time to Rise. Also, whoever did her covers for these books is wonderful. These are fantastic book covers. I gave it a 3 out of 5-star rating. The character development, but especially Parvin, really made this story work, and the world building was better than the other books, but I felt that the pacing was a little too fast, and there was an overuse of plot devices in my opinion. Oh, and forgot about this, but there's a lot of stuff that's said in this book, and this is just like an overall thing that really annoys me. When things are said in a book, things, places, animals, you know, whatever, and they're just kind of glossed over, and no one bothers to explain what the crap it is. So if I have like an earphone that I can put into my head and it plays music continuously, how does it work without Wi-Fi? How does it work on Bluetooth? Are there areas where it won't work? Does it interfere with anything? You know, that's fine and dandy that there's an earpiece that plays music all the time in my head. That's cool, but I want to know the mechanics of it and stuff. I want to know how it works. And that just kind of goes for everything, because it really annoys me when I just kind of have to guess how something goes instead of knowing, because then I'm not sure if I missed something or if the author did that on purpose, or, you know, what have you. The next book I finished was Life as We Knew It by Susan Beth Pfeiffer. This is one of my new favorite series. I absolutely love this. It was told in diary format. Oh, and the rating is 4 out of 5 stars. I loved it so much, I'm just going to jump right into it and not tell you my rating. But yeah, told in diary format, this is a dystopian novel about what would happen if an asteroid hit the moon and it brought it closer to the Earth. So obviously the moon controls our tides and stuff like that, so it kind of goes from there, that there's worldwide flooding, there's earthquakes, volcanoes, because, you know, it's just kind of a domino effect. One affects the other, that affects the other, that affects the other. Fantastic. I absolutely loved it. I kind of wish all dystopian novels were wrote in a diary format now, because then I feel more connected to a story that's wrote in a diary. And I don't know if it's just because I'm nosy as crap, or if it's Susan Beth Pfeiffer's writing, but I love the diary format dystopian kind of thing. And then these are the books that I finished during my readathon that I started a vlog on and then never finished. Sorry about that. But I first finished The Diabolic by S.J. Kincaid. I loved it. It was 5 out of 5. This is a wonderful sci-fi. I would even go as far as to say it's a dystopian book as well. It focuses on this girl named Nemesis. She's been engineered to be kind of a bodyguard for someone important, and she's bonded to that person. She's bonded to this person named Sidonia, who's a girl about, I guess, about her age. She kind of doesn't age, I don't know. And so she grows up protecting this girl, and then because of Sidonia's father's heretics, Heresy. The camera cut off, so I don't know where we cut off at. I'm going to start with The New Dark, which was my second DNF of the month. I only had 2 this month, so I'm doing pretty good, I think. It was by Lauren Thompson. I gave it a 1.5 out of 5-star rating. It was pretty bad. It's supposed to be about the society that's living in a post-dystopian world where everything's collapsed. And there's mutants, there's different factions, and they're kind of back to primal ways of living. Now, I'm just kind of guessing all of that from how this book sounded, because nothing was explained in this book. Things happened that weren't explained. The characters didn't feel genuine. The story was just everywhere. Oh Lord, the way that the characters acted was completely stupid to how they should have acted. The pacing was off. It was way too fast for what this book should have been. It was a train wreck, and I was very confused. I was irritated, and so I had to stop reading it 57% of the way through, and that really did reflect in my score. But overall, from Goodreads, it looks like not a lot of people liked it, so I feel really bad. The next book I got to was The Mosaic by Chris Keaton and Rick Tabloid. I gave it a 4 out of 5-star rating. This book is a YA, but it feels more like middle grade-ish, I guess. So the book focuses on these 2 girls. They're twins. They discover a magical world contained in a crumbling mosaic. It is a fantastic fantasy ride. It kind of reads a little bit younger than what it should, but if you're very frustrated with the YA tropes and romances and stuff like that, I definitely recommend checking out this book. There's absolutely no romance at all, and it really focuses on these girls and their development, and not, like their character development. Get your mind out of the gutter. And their relationship with one another, which is kind of different in YA books today. And then the last book I finished for the read-along, and that I finished so far, I can't find the book. It's my husband's copy, and I don't know where he's hid it, but it's The Giver by Lois Lowry, another YA dystopian. I rated it a 4 out of 5 stars. You can really tell that a lot of books, especially Divergent, took their inspiration from this book. And for its time period, it was a really good YA dystopian book. My concerns with it are that there wasn't a lot of world building. Again, I didn't know why stuff was half the time, why things happened, what things were, etc. Especially the main plot thing. I don't understand how that's a thing, but overall, it's really good, and I enjoyed it for the most part. The last 2 books that I promised I would be going over that I've been reading for February. One that I'm definitely going to finish before February's up, and one that I'm not going to, but I'm going to cover a significant portion of it, hopefully. The one with the significant portion I'm going to finish this month is Eldest by Christopher Paolini. I am on page 147, and I'm hoping to get to, what page is this? 445 before December. Oh my gosh. Before February is over with. Because we're going to have a discussion about this in one of my read-along groups in March 11th, I think. So I got to get some reading done. And this is the book that I'm definitely going to finish. It is the March read-along book of the month. And I kind of need to finish it before March, so that way I know what to ask the people what to discuss about it. But it is Daughter of the Siren Queen by Tristia Levenseller, and oh my gosh, the seaweed on this is, I don't know what you would call it, embossed or something. It feels really cool. But yeah, Daughter of the Siren Queen. This is a sequel to Daughter of the Pirate King. So obviously this is going to focus on Alosa's maternal half of her, the side that she got from her mother, who's the Siren Queen, obviously. You know what? And I want this to be the next Disney princess. I think Alosa would be amazing. But the back of it says, "You are my daughter," Father continues. "Surrender the ship and we'll talk." I'm surprised by the offer, of course. I know there is nothing but a slow death in store for my crew if I order them to surrender. I can see it in his eyes. But the fact that he would try this when everyone on Thailand's ship can hear him, it could be interpreted as a sign of weakness. I hadn't realized how much my father depended on me and my abilities. He thinks he can break me if he gets his hands on me, force me to do his bidding once again. He doesn't want me to kill. Not yet. But I will not fall into his hands again. And I sure as hell won't let him get a hold of my crew. Better to strike than to dodge. It's one of the first lessons Father ever taught me. I put a hand over my mouth and chin, as if I'm pondering his offer. Narrate it. Weird names in this book. I say quietly. Tell the crew below to fire the cannons. That is my February wrap-up. 18 books. If I can finish this one, that'll be number 19. I'm proud of myself. February is the shortest month in the year, and I managed to read more than I did last month. So I'm super proud of myself. And I hope that this weird way that I've kind of done this TBR has inspired you guys. And let me know below if you want a video, explaining how I did this TBR kind of thing. But basically I talked about it in the February TBR video. I read only so many pages of so many books a day, and I eventually would kind of conquer them all, and they would just, they would tumbleweed down. So once you start like reading so many pages of a book, it doesn't feel like you're reading a lot. So yeah, tell me if you want a video on that, and I'm going to go film some more videos. So thank you for watching. I hope to see you again. Bye!